Be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below. Andrew McCabe releases angry statement following firing, blasts President Trump. Fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe released his statement Friday night following the news of his firing right before he became eligible for retirement benefits. Now, McCabe blasted President Trump for tweeting about him and calling for him to be stripped of his pension. Now, McCabe also claimed he was being singled out for what he witnessed in the aftermath of Trump's firing of the FBI Director James Comey. Now here is the statement that was issued by Andrew McCabe after his firing. He said, "I have been an FBI agent for over 21 years. I spent half of that time investigating Russia organized crime as a street agent and supervisor in New York City. I have spent the second half of my career focusing on national security issues and protecting this country from terrorism. I served in some of the most challenging, demanding investigative and leadership roles in the FBI, and I was privileged to serve as deputy director during a particularly tough time. Now, for the last year and a half, my family and I have been the targets of unrelenting assault on our reputation and my service to this country. Articles too numerous to count have leveled every sort of false, defamatory, and degrading allegation against us. The president's tweets have amplified and exaggerated it all. He called for my firing. He called for me to be stripped of my pension after more than 20 years of service. And all along we have said nothing, never wanting to distract from the mission of the FBI by addressing the lies told and repeated about us." He goes on to say that no more. He says the investigation by the Justice Department's Office of Inspector General has to be understood in the context of the attacks on my credibility. The investigation flows from my attempt to explain the FBI's involvement and my supervision of investigations involving Hillary Clinton. I was being portrayed in the media over and over as a political partisan accused of closing down investigations under political pressure. The FBI was portrayed as caving under the pressure and making decisions for political rather than for law enforcement purposes. Nothing was further from the truth. In fact, this entire investigation stems from my efforts, fully authorized under FBI rules, to set the record straight on behalf of the Bureau and to make clear that we were continuing an investigation that the people in the DOJ opposed. The OIG investigation has focused on information I chose to share with a reporter through my public affairs officer and a legal counselor. As deputy director, I was one of only a few people who had the authority to do that. It was not a secret. It took place over several days, and others, including the director, were aware of the interaction with the reporter. It was the type of exchange with the media that the deputy director oversees several times per week. In fact, it was the same type of work that I continued to do under Director Wray at his request. Now, the investigation subsequently focused on who I talked to, when I talked to them, and so forth. During these inquiries, I answered these questions truthfully and as accurately as I could amidst the chaos that surrounded me. And when I thought my answers were misunderstood, I contacted investigators to correct them. But looking at that in isolation completely misses the big picture. The big picture is a tale of what can happen when a law enforcement is politicized, public servants are attacked, and people are supposed to cherish and protect our institutions become instruments for damaging those institutions and people. He said, "Here is the reality. I am being singled out and treated this way because of the role I played, the actions I took, and the events I witnessed in the aftermath of the firing of James Comey. The release of this report was accelerated only after my testimony to the House Intelligence Committee revealed that I would corroborate former Director Comey's accounts of his decisions with the President." Now, the OIG's focus on me and this report became a part of an unprecedented effort by the administration driven by the President himself to remove me from my position, destroy my reputation, and possibly strip me of a pension that I worked 21 years to earn. The accelerated release of the report and the punitive actions taken in response make sense only when viewed through this lens. Thursday's comments from the White House are just the latest examples of this. This attack on my credibility is one part of a larger effort not to just slander me personally, but to taint the FBI, law enforcement, and intelligence professionals more generally. Now, it is part of this administration's ongoing war on the FBI and efforts of the Special Counsel investigation, which continue to this day. Their persistence in this campaign only highlights the importance of the Special Counsel's work. I have always prided myself on serving my country with distinction and integrity, and I always encourage those around me to do the same. Just ask them. To have my career end in this way and to be accused of lacking candor when at most I was distracted in the midst of a chaotic events is incredibly disappointing and unfair, but it will not erase the important work I was privileged to be a part of, and the results of which will in the end be revealed to the country to see. Now it says he says, I have unfailing faith in the men and women of the FBI, and I'm confident that their efforts to seek justice will not be deterred. So there you have it. That is the statement that Andrew McCabe released after being fired. So be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below and tell me how you feel about this report and about his statement and the situation in general. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Let's make America great again. Peace.